8 compliments that make women fall for you. Psychology tricks. If you knew one single sentence, one line said at the right moment, could make her feel a rush in her chest and remember you long after the conversation ends, would you still waste your best chance with tired lines like, "You're hot" or "Nice dress"? Welcome back. A lot of men think attraction is built on looks, money, or status. Sure, those things can get attention, but what makes a woman stay interested is deeper than that. How she feels when she's with you, safe, seen, respected, understood, valued. And this is where most men lose without realizing it, because one of the most underrated power moves you have isn't showing off. It's a compliment that hits the soul, not just the surface, the kind that lands like, "Wow, he actually notices me." As a wise reminder about love and life, we are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translation: if your words show you love what's real in her, not just what's pretty, your presence will feel different from every other man. Now listen closely. If you throw compliments around like confetti, cute, hot, nice outfit, you don't stand out. You blend into the same noise she's heard 1,000 times. But if you take a calm, intentional, almost stoic approach, measured words, steady energy, clear respect, your compliment becomes rare. And rare is attractive. Today we're going into 8 compliments that go beyond flirting, the kind that trigger something deeper in her mind: emotion, trust, curiosity, connection. These are not desperate lines. These are identity-level compliments, the ones that make her think, "Wait, why does this guy feel different?" If you're ready to elevate your presence and leave a mark that lasts, stay with me, because what matters isn't how much you talk. It's how your words make her feel when the moment is real. Compliment 1. That fragrance you're wearing is intoxicating. It smells incredible. Compliment 1 is simple on the surface, but quietly powerful when you understand what is really happening beneath it. That fragrance you're wearing is intoxicating. It smells incredible. Most men overlook scent because they focus only on what they can see, but attraction does not begin with the eyes alone. It begins in the mind. Be aware of that. A woman's scent is deeply tied to emotion, memory, and connection, and if you understand a little about psychology tricks and female psychology, you'll realize this is not a random detail, but a direct path into how attraction forms. Smell bypasses logic and goes straight to feeling. Think about it. One scent can pull you back years in an instant. A quiet summer evening, a familiar embrace, a moment that felt safe, warm, or exciting. That happens because scent is linked to the limbic system, the part of the brain that stores emotion and memory. And when you acknowledge her fragrance, you're doing much more than saying something pleasant. You are telling her that her presence stays with you, that it lingers in your mind even after she leaves, and that idea alone can spark curiosity and emotional warmth. Don't rush this compliment. Don't toss it out casually like a filler line. Be intentional. Most men default to flat phrases like, "You look nice," or "That dress is pretty." And while those are fine, they fade quickly because they don't engage the deeper layers of attraction. A man who notices her scent shows awareness. He shows presence. He shows that he is paying attention to how she makes him feel, not just how she looks. That is rare. That is memorable. And that difference matters far more than flashy words. Say it calmly. Say it with quiet confidence. Don't exaggerate. Don't perform. Let your tone be steady and grounded, as if you're simply stating a fact, because certainty is attractive when it's relaxed and natural. This is where restraint becomes your strength. You must understand that words carry weight, and when you choose them carefully, they land deeper. Don't compliment to impress. Don't compliment to gain approval. Be selective. When you say her fragrance is intoxicating, you are planting a subtle association in her mind. Every time she wears that scent again, she will remember the moment you noticed, the way you said it, the feeling it created. That is not luck. That is how emotional connections are formed. Watch her response. It might be a soft smile, a pause, a slight change in posture. These small signals tell you the compliment landed exactly where it needed to. This is one of those psychology tricks that works not because it's clever, but because it's human. Female psychology responds to feeling seen and remembered, especially in ways that are personal and sensory. You're not praising something generic. You're acknowledging an experience she created simply by being there. That creates depth. That creates intrigue. And if you're serious about understanding how to fall in love, or more accurately, how attraction begins to grow naturally, this is the level of awareness you need to practice. Be present. Be observant. Speak with intention. Let silence do some of the work for you. When your compliment comes from genuine attention rather than habit, it doesn't fade. It echoes. This approach isn't about manipulation or rehearsed lines. It's about understanding how the mind and emotions connect, which is why psychology tricks, when used with respect and sincerity, feel effortless instead of forced. Remember, attraction isn't built by saying more. It's built by saying the right thing at the right moment. Notice what others ignore. Speak when it matters, and when you do, let your words reflect calm assurance. That is how female psychology responds. That is how moments turn into memories. And that is how subtle attraction quietly grows into something deeper, lasting, and real, which is ultimately what people mean when they talk about how to fall in love. Compliment 2. Your smile could light up an entire room. Compliment 2 sounds simple at first, but it carries far more weight than most men ever realize. Your smile could light up an entire room. Don't rush past this. Stop and understand what you're actually saying. A smile is not just a physical feature, it's energy. It's a signal. It's a quiet force that changes the emotional temperature of a space the moment it appears. When you say those words, you are not talking about teeth or lips. That is surface-level thinking. You are acknowledging her presence. You are recognizing that she affects the world around her, that her energy reaches beyond herself. Be clear about that. That is what makes this compliment land deeply. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room that felt tense, heavy, disconnected, almost uncomfortable, and then someone arrived with a genuine smile and suddenly everything shifted? The air felt lighter. People relaxed. Conversation flowed. That's not coincidence. That's influence. And when you recognize that in a woman, you're saying something powerful without sounding dramatic. You're saying, I notice what you bring into a room. That is rare awareness. That is what a high-value man pays attention to. Most men stay stuck on appearances. You're pretty. Nice smile. Those words fade fast because they don't go anywhere emotionally. They describe what anyone can see. But a man who wants to attract women must learn to notice effect, not just form. He sees how her smile puts people at ease, how it creates warmth in what once felt like a cold room. That kind of smile isn't common, and when you acknowledge it, you're saying, I don't just see how you look, I see what you do. That is recognition. That is respect. That is where masculine energy quietly speaks for itself. Don't overdo it. Don't turn this into flattery. Be calm. Be grounded. Say it like an observation, not a performance. That is important. When your words come from presence rather than excitement, they land with weight. You must understand that emotional intelligence shows not in how much you say, but in how precisely you say it. A man who understands himself doesn't need volume. He doesn't need exaggeration. He speaks once, and it's enough. This is where many men miss the moment. They're so focused on trying to impress that they forget to actually see her. But when you speak to her smile with sincerity, she feels noticed in a way that goes deeper than appearance. She feels seen, and that feeling stays. Very few experiences are as memorable as being truly recognized. That's why this compliment works so well for a high-value man who wants to attract women without chasing attention. Be intentional, be observant. Let your tone carry certainty, not urgency. That calm assurance is masculine energy in its purest form. When you acknowledge her smile this way, you're not trying to win her over. You're simply stating what you see. And paradoxically, that's what draws people closer. Remember this: attraction grows where understanding lives. Speak with clarity, speak with respect, and when you do, your words won't just be heard, they'll be felt. And if this message resonates with you, don't just nod and move on. Take action. Drop a comment right now and write this exact sentence. I notice energy, not just appearances. Say it, claim it, let it remind you who you are becoming. Like this video, subscribe for more sharp psychology tricks, and remember this every day. A man who truly sees leaves an impression that never fades. Compliment 3. I admire how real you are. You don't try to fit in, you're simply yourself. When you tell a woman, I admire how real you are not speaking casually. You are speaking with precision, intention, and psychological weight. In a world flooded with filters, curated identities, and constant performance, authenticity has become one of the rarest and most valuable human qualities. People know this, even if they cannot articulate it. Every day, modern life pressures people to adjust, adapt, soften, reshape, and present versions of themselves that will be accepted, liked, and approved. Deep down, everyone feels the exhaustion of pretending, the quiet tension of wearing masks at work, online, in social settings, and even in relationships. So when a man looks a woman in the eyes and communicates, calmly and confidently, that he sees her real self and respects it, something fundamental shifts. You are validating a choice that requires courage. The choice to be honest in a world that often rewards performance over truth. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you acknowledge that in her, you are acknowledging strength, not surface beauty, not temporary appeal, but character. And character creates lasting attraction. Physical compliments are common and expected. Recognition of authenticity is rare and deeply felt. That is why it lands differently. You are not complimenting effort. You are complimenting essence. You are not praising a mask. You are honoring the person beneath it. This communicates security, discernment, and emotional intelligence. Qualities that experienced men understand matter far more than flashy words. Here is the psychological truth. People bond most strongly with those who make them feel seen without being judged. When you say you admire how real she is, you are saying she does not need to perform for you. She does not need to edit herself. She does not need to earn approval by becoming someone else. In modern life, where comparison is constant and validation is outsourced to screens, that message creates relief, trust, and connection. Authenticity is not always smooth or convenient. Sometimes it is messy, sometimes imperfect, sometimes uncomfortable, but it is always honest, and honesty carries weight. From old Stoic wisdom, we learn that truth is stability, truth is freedom, truth is strength. A man who lives by Stoicism win principles understands that alignment with oneself is power, not resistance, not performance. Calm self-command. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. The Stoic man chooses clarity over noise, substance over trends, inner direction over external approval. When he recognizes that same steadiness in a woman, it creates mutual respect, not dependence, not neediness, grounded attraction. Respect is the foundation of desire that lasts beyond novelty. This is where modern men often miss the lesson. They chase approval instead of offering recognition. They seek validation instead of expressing values. But when you speak from an iron mind, when your words come from experience rather than performance, your compliments carry authority. Authority is attractive, especially to emotionally intelligent women who are tired of shallow praise. So when you give this compliment, speak with certainty, not hesitation. Hesitation weakens meaning. Certainty builds trust. Trust builds attraction. This compliment positions you as a man who sees beyond appearances, a man not easily manipulated by surfaces, a man who values substance, that signals maturity, leadership, and inner stability, traits that grow more attractive with age. By midlife and beyond, people learn that pretending is costly and honesty is efficient. The advice is simple. Stop complimenting what everyone else notices. Start acknowledging what most people overlook. Speak to character, speak to choices, speak to values. Those are the things people protect. When you respect what someone protects, you gain access to trust. Trust opens doors, charm never will. Authenticity is contagious. When you recognize it in others, you reinforce it in yourself. This creates alignment, calm confidence, a stoicism win mindset. In today's overstimulated world, clarity is rare. Clarity is valuable. Use your words like tools, not decorations. Let them carry meaning. Let them reflect your standards. Let them show that you are not impressed by masks, but drawn to truth. Truth is timeless. Truth is magnetic. Truth builds connections that last. When you consistently live by old Stoic wisdom, grounded self-respect, and an iron mind, your presence becomes the complement. Your words become reinforcement. Your relationships become deeper, calmer, and more rewarding. That is how a man masters connection, masters himself, and ultimately masters life. Compliment number 4. I love the way you see the world. It's so unique and it genuinely makes me think. Compliment number 4 sounds simple on the surface, but it cuts deeper than most men ever realize. I love the way you see the world. It's so unique. It genuinely makes me think. Let's be honest for a moment. The world is crowded with copies. People wake up, scroll, repeat borrowed opinions, follow routines they never chose, and call that living. Autopilot is comfortable. Sameness is safe. Original thought takes effort. That is why it's rare. And that is exactly why this compliment works so powerfully when used with intention and respect. When you tell a woman you admire the way she sees the world, you are not tossing out empty praise. You are recognizing her inner compass. You are saying, without saying it, I notice how your mind works. Be clear about this. Most attention women receive is shallow. It stops at appearances. It hovers around looks, clothes, posture, surface energy. Don't do that. Don't be another man who only reacts to what's visible. Be the man who notices what's underneath, her interpretations, her questions, her way of turning confusion into meaning, her ability to look at chaos and find a pattern. That is where female psychology quietly responds, because the mind wants to be seen just as much as the body, sometimes more. This is one of those psychology tricks that doesn't feel like a trick at all, because it's grounded in truth. You must understand this clearly. When you admire her worldview, you validate her identity. You tell her her thoughts have weight. You tell her her inner life matters. In a culture obsessed with filters, trends, and group approval, that kind of acknowledgement feels like fresh air. It lingers. It lands slowly, deeply, and it stays. Most men never go there. They rush. They compliment what anyone with eyes can see. That's why they blend together in her memory. But the moment you say, calmly and sincerely, that the way she sees life makes you think, something shifts. Attraction evolves into connection. Curiosity replaces performance. She no longer feels like she's being evaluated. She feels understood. That is a crucial difference if you want to understand how to fall in love at a deeper level, not just spark interest for a moment. Now she doesn't see you as another voice competing for attention. She sees you as someone who listens, someone who values perspective, someone who engages with ideas, not just images. That separates you immediately, without force, without posturing, without trying to impress. Be steady, be present, let the compliment breathe. Don't oversell it. Say it once and mean it. That is enough. This is where psychology tricks intersect with authenticity because the brain recognizes sincerity faster than words. When you notice how she interprets life, how she frames experiences, how she explains what others ignore, you're signaling emotional intelligence. You're showing that you don't fear depth, that you welcome thought, that you're not threatened by a woman who thinks independently. That matters more than you think, especially within female psychology, where safety and understanding often precede desire. Now connect this to Stoic principles, not as a label, but as a way of being. A grounded man does not chase every opinion. He observes, he questions, he reflects. He values clarity over noise, depth over performance. When you offer this compliment, you align yourself with those qualities naturally. You are honoring her mental freedom in a world that constantly tries to compress people into simple categories. And here is the quiet magic most men miss. When you say, "The way you see the world really makes me think," you are opening a door. You are inviting her to continue, to explain, to explore, to share. You are encouraging intimacy without pressure, connection without touch. You are meeting her where real bonds form in the mind. That kind of connection doesn't vanish after a night or a season. It embeds itself in memory. Years later, she may forget what someone wore or said casually, but she will remember how someone made her feel seen. Don't underestimate that. While many chase beauty alone, you choose to respect depth. That choice defines whether you are remembered briefly or thought about quietly for a long time. This is not about manipulation. This is about attention. Real attention. One of the most overlooked psychology tricks is simply noticing what others overlook. When you do that consistently, you don't need exaggeration. You don't need clever lines. You don't need to perform. You must just be honest and observant. Say less, mean more. Let her know her way of seeing life expands yours. That is powerful. That is rare. That is how to fall in love without rushing it, without forcing it, and without losing yourself in the process. If this message resonated with you, don't just watch and move on. Like the video, subscribe for more psychology-backed wisdom, and share it with someone who wants deeper connections. Now interact with the channel, comment this sentence below to lock it in your mind. True attraction begins when you respect how she thinks, not just how she looks. Compliment number 5. I love your energy. It's contagious. It genuinely makes me want to become the best version of myself. Compliment number 5 is simple, direct, and powerful. I love your energy. It's contagious. It makes me want to become the best version of myself. And this is not casual praise. This is a statement of values. Because energy is not some abstract idea. It is felt, it is real, and it shapes every interaction you have in modern life. From your work to your relationships to how you carry yourself when you walk into a room. And you already know this from experience because you have met people whose presence feels heavy, tiring, and draining even when they say the right things. And you have also met people who lift the room without trying, who don't chase attention but somehow elevate it simply by being grounded, focused, and alive. And when a woman carries that kind of energy, when her presence sharpens your thinking and strengthens your resolve, acknowledging it is not flattery, it is respect, because what you are really saying is, you inspire growth in me, and growth is the highest currency a man can recognize, especially as you move through the second half of life, where time becomes more valuable than approval. And this is where old Stoic wisdom comes in, because the Stoics taught that character is shaped by environment and by the people we choose to keep close. And Marcus Aurelius himself wrote that we should surround ourselves with those whose lives remind us what excellence looks like, not through noise, but through example. And when you tell a woman that her energy makes you want to be better, you are aligning yourself with that principle. You are saying that you value progress over comfort, direction over distraction, and meaning over momentary pleasure. And that message lands deeply because it speaks to something universal, the desire to matter, to have a positive impact, to be a force that moves others forward. And this is far more powerful than commenting on appearance, because attraction fades but influence endures. And in today's world where stress is constant and distractions are everywhere, people are starving for environments that recharge them instead of depleting them. So when you recognize that a woman brings clarity, motivation, and momentum into your life, you are naming a rare quality. And as Epictetus reminded his students, we become what we repeatedly admire, which means your compliment is also a declaration of who you choose to become. And that is why this works so strongly with women who have depth, because they don't want to be chosen only for how they look. They want to be valued for who they are and how they move through the world. And when you speak this compliment with calm certainty, not neediness, not exaggeration, but grounded truth, it positions you as a man with an iron mind, a man who observes carefully, chooses intentionally, and speaks with purpose. And that presence alone is attractive, because confidence rooted in self-knowledge always is. And this is how Stoicism win plays out in real life. not as philosophy on a page, but as disciplined awareness in everyday interactions, where you recognize what strengthens you and you honor it openly. And here is the key advice for modern men. Do not give this compliment lightly or to everyone, because its power comes from selectivity, from meaning what you say, and from living by the same standard you admire. Because if you tell a woman her energy pushes you to be better, you must also be a man who acts on that push, who trains his body, sharpens his mind, manages his emotions, and handles his responsibilities without excuses. Otherwise, the words ring hollow, and people feel that instantly. But when your life backs up your language, the compliment becomes a bridge, a shared direction, a mutual respect. And as Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. And improvement is not loud, it is consistent, it is disciplined, it is quiet strength. And women who carry strong energy recognize that same quality in men. So when you speak this compliment, you are not chasing affection. You are standing in alignment with your values. And that alignment creates attraction naturally, because people are drawn to clarity, and clarity is the mark of an iron mind. And this is where old Stoic wisdom meets modern life again. Because in a world obsessed with comfort, the man who chooses growth stands out. And when you acknowledge a woman as someone who elevates you, you are also reinforcing your own path, reminding yourself that you do not settle for environments that drain you, that you choose relationships that challenge you to rise, and that is how Stoicism win becomes a lived reality, not just an idea. And remember this final point. Say it once, say it clearly, and say it with conviction. I love your energy. It makes me want to be better. Then let your actions carry the rest. Because true influence does not need repetition, it needs integrity. And when she hears that from a man who lives with discipline, direction, and an iron mind, she understands something immediately and deeply. She is not only wanted, she is admired, and that distinction changes everything. Compliment number 6. You're honestly one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. You truly care about others, and it shows. This compliment is not flashy. It does not sparkle on the surface. It goes deeper. And that is exactly why it works so well, especially in a modern world obsessed with image, speed, and noise. Let's be real. We live in an age of self-promotion, filtered lives, curated kindness, and public virtue. Everyone wants to look good. Very few take the time to be good. That is the contrast. That is the tension. And that is why this compliment cuts through like a clean blade. You are not reacting to what she posts. You are not praising how she presents herself. You are recognizing who she is when no one is watching. Be clear about that. That is what separates a boyish compliment from a man's observation. That is what a high-value man notices instinctively. When you say this, you are naming character. Not charm, not performance. Character. You are telling her that you see the small, quiet actions most people ignore, the way she remembers details others forget, the way she checks in without needing credit, the way she listens instead of waiting to speak, the way she creates safety in conversation. That is not accidental. That is a choice repeated daily. Don't underestimate how powerful it is when someone finally feels seen at that level. In a culture that rewards noise, thoughtfulness is rare currency, and rarity creates value. That is how you attract women without chasing them. This compliment works because it reflects maturity. It shows discernment. It signals that you are not scanning for surface appeal but for substance. Anyone can notice beauty. Anyone can admire style. But it takes experience to recognize integrity. And experience is attractive. Be the man who notices effort. Be the man who values intention. That is masculine energy expressed with calm authority, not volume, not force, presence. Here is the truth many men miss. It is easy to be attractive. It is easy to be clever. It is easy to say the right thing at the right time. But it is rare to be deeply kind in a consistent, grounded way. Thoughtful people give without announcing it. They nurture without demanding return. They protect emotional space. They don't dominate a room, they hold it. That is the metaphor that matters. Holding space requires strength. It requires patience. It requires self-control. and those qualities are magnetic when recognized by the right man. Don't rush this compliment. Don't toss it out casually. Say it with stillness. Say it once. Mean it. When you tell her, I see how much you care about others, you are saying more than words can carry. You are saying, I recognize effort that is invisible to most people. You are saying, I value what you give, not just what you display. That lands deeply. That reaches places shallow praise never touches. That is how connection forms, quietly, firmly, permanently. From a Stoic perspective, this compliment matters deeply. Stoicism has always placed virtue above vanity, character above appearance, contribution above applause. The Stoics believed a meaningful life is built on integrity, empathy, and responsibility to others, not because it looks good, but because it is good. When you acknowledge her thoughtfulness, you are aligning yourself with that philosophy, whether you name it or not. You are affirming that compassion is not softness, it is wisdom. You are affirming that goodness is not naive, it is strength refined by experience. That alignment is important because women who are truly thoughtful are also perceptive. They notice consistency, they feel intention, they sense whether words come from observation or strategy. You must be real, you must be steady. Don't exaggerate, don't decorate. Speak plainly, speak clearly. That is how a high-value man communicates. Calm, direct, grounded. Now let's bring this into modern life. We are all tired. Everyone is under pressure. People are rarely asked how they really feel. Most interactions skim the surface. When you recognize thoughtfulness, you are offering something rare, acknowledgement without agenda. That is attractive because it feels safe, it feels earned, it feels adult. This is how you attract women who are emotionally mature, not just temporarily impressed. Here is the instruction. Observe before you speak. Watch how she treats people who cannot offer her anything. Notice how she responds when no one is watching. Then speak. Be specific. Be honest. Don't say it to get something. Say it because it is true. That integrity changes the entire dynamic. It shifts you from seeking approval to offering recognition, and that shift is masculine energy at its best. This compliment also reflects your standards. You are revealing what you value, and values create attraction more powerfully than tactics. When you admire thoughtfulness, you signal that you are a man who understands long-term connection, not short-term validation. That is how a high-value man thinks. That is how he moves. Quiet confidence, clear priorities, no rush. And here is the final truth. She will remember this. Long after flashy words fade, long after louder men disappear. She will remember the man who noticed her heart, the man who acknowledged her effort, the man who valued her character in a world that rewards performance. That memory carries weight because it affirms something deeply human, that goodness matters, that care matters, that who we are beneath the surface still counts. So don't overcomplicate it. Say it cleanly. Say it with intention. You're one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. You truly care about others, and it shows. Then let silence do the rest. Let your presence back it up. Let your consistency confirm it. That is how you attract women with depth. That is how masculine energy expresses respect. That is how a high-value man leaves a mark without forcing anything at all. If this message resonated with you, take action right now. Like this video to support the channel. Share it with a man who wants deeper, more meaningful connections. And subscribe for more psychology-backed wisdom on relationships, confidence, and character. Now here's the key part. Words shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. So I want you to anchor this lesson in your mind. Comment this affirmation below and mean it when you write it. Don't rush, don't joke, claim it. Comment to remember. I recognize character. I value thoughtfulness. I honor genuine goodness. Drop that in the comments now. It tells the algorithm you're engaged, and more importantly, it tells you who you are becoming. Compliment number 7. I love how driven you are. Your sense of purpose is genuinely inspiring. Compliment number 7 is simple on the surface, but deep where it counts. I love how driven you are. Your sense of purpose is genuinely inspiring. And this is not a casual line you throw out to sound smooth. This is a statement that lands because it speaks directly to female psychology and to something many people overlook. So let's slow down and really understand why this works and how it connects to psychology tricks and how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, grounded, and real. Drive is that quiet force inside a person that keeps them moving forward, even when nobody is watching, even when the results are slow, even when comfort would be easier. And in a world full of distractions, quick fixes, and endless noise, that kind of focus is rare. That is a fact, not an opinion. When you acknowledge a woman's drive, you are not praising her looks or her charm. You are recognizing her direction. And direction matters because it tells you where someone is headed, not just who they are today. Don't rush this compliment. Be intentional. That is the key. When you say you admire her drive, you are saying, I see the discipline behind your choices. I notice the late nights when others are resting. I respect the patience it takes to build something meaningful instead of chasing easy wins. This is not flattery. This is awareness, and awareness is one of the most powerful psychology tricks when it comes to connection, because people feel closest to those who truly see them. Driven people, especially driven women, are often misunderstood. They are told, subtly or directly, to slow down, to be more relaxed, to not take things so seriously, to make themselves smaller for the comfort of others. So when you look at her and say that her purpose inspires you, you are doing the opposite. You are saying, don't shrink, be exactly who you are. That is what I admire. That message lands deeply because it removes pressure instead of adding it. You must understand this. Driven people are not searching for applause. They are focused on progress. They care about results, growth, and meaning. That is why generic compliments slide right past them. But when someone recognizes their mindset, not just their effort, it feels different, it feels rare, and rarity creates attraction. This is female psychology at work, not in a manipulative way, but in a human way. People fall in love when they feel understood, respected, and aligned with. When you acknowledge her drive, you are aligning yourself with her values. You are signaling that you respect time, effort, and purpose. That matters more than charm ever will. Be clear, be calm, be sincere. Don't exaggerate, don't perform. Say it like a man who knows where he is going. From a Stoic perspective, this kind of compliment carries weight because it reflects how you see life. A man with intention understands that time is limited and that potential left unused is a quiet tragedy. He moves with purpose, not urgency, and when he recognizes that same movement in her, it creates a sense of kinship. You are not chasing her. You are walking alongside her. That distinction is crucial. It shifts the dynamic from approval seeking to mutual respect, and mutual respect is a foundation for how to fall in love in a way that lasts. When you tell her that her drive inspires you, you are not placing her on a pedestal. You are acknowledging her direction and choosing to stand in harmony with it. That is attractive because it shows confidence without pressure. It shows appreciation without dependency. And here is something many men miss. This compliment does not fade with time. Beauty changes, circumstances change. But direction endures. When you honor her direction, you are honoring something stable, something she has worked for, something she identifies with deeply. That creates emotional resonance. Use this psychology trick wisely. Say it when you mean it. Say it when you have observed her consistency, her discipline, her focus. Be specific in your tone, even if the words stay simple. Let your presence carry the meaning. This is not about saying the perfect line. It is about seeing clearly and speaking honestly. When a woman feels that you see her mission, not just her mood, something shifts. She relaxes. She opens. She feels safe to be ambitious without explanation. And that safety is where connection grows. In a world full of half-finished goals and distracted conversations, telling her that she is focused and worthy of respect separates you from the noise. It tells her you are not here for entertainment. You are here with intention. Repeat this truth to yourself. Don't compliment what is easy to notice. Be the man who notices what is built quietly over time. That is how psychology tricks become genuine connection. That is how female psychology responds with warmth instead of skepticism. And that is how to fall in love without forcing it, without chasing it, without losing yourself in the process. Compliment number 8. You have an incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued. When you tell a woman calmly and with certainty, you have an incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued. You are not offering a casual compliment. You are delivering a truth that reaches deep into her core. This speaks to emotional intelligence, a quiet strength that cannot be copied, rushed, or faked. The kind of strength that shows up without noise and changes the emotional temperature of a room. In a world obsessed with performance, image, and constant self-promotion, this quality stands apart. Some people walk into a room and demand attention. A rare few walk in and create safety, connection, and calm. When you recognize this in her, you are not talking about charm or beauty or social polish. You are honoring presence, real presence, the ability to make others feel seen without effort, the ability to make people breathe easier just by being there. That is why this compliment works so powerfully, because it tells her she does not need to perform, impress, or compete. She simply exists, and the world around her softens. As Maya Angelou once said, people will never forget how you made them feel. This truth has only grown stronger in modern life, where distraction is constant and attention is fractured. Most people today do not know how to truly hold space. They listen to respond. They speak to be noticed. They move through conversations carrying invisible armor built from insecurity and the need to prove something. But she is different. She listens with intent. She adapts without losing herself. She understands without judging. She lifts others without needing applause. When you name this, when you calmly acknowledge that her presence is grounding, you are giving her something rare, recognition for who she is at her center, not what she provides on the surface. From old Stoic wisdom, this is no small thing. Stoicism teaches that true strength is internal, built on awareness, restraint, and purpose. The ability to understand before reacting, to listen before speaking, to remain steady while others are pulled by emotion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be one." And that is exactly what you are recognizing in her. She embodies goodness through action, through presence, through quiet mastery of emotional control. That is why this compliment creates attraction that lasts. It speaks to values, not vanity. For men between 35 and 70 navigating modern relationships, this matters more than ever. Attraction today is not built on lines or tricks. It is built on clarity, respect, and confidence, on seeing what others overlook and naming it without hesitation. When you deliver this compliment, you do it slowly, directly, without asking for approval. Certainty is felt before it is understood. That certainty comes from an iron mind, one shaped by experience, discipline, and reflection, one that knows validation is not flattery when it is grounded in truth. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free," and freedom here is freedom from chasing attention, freedom to speak what matters. When you apply old Stoic wisdom to modern life, everything sharpens. You stop chasing noise. You start valuing substance. Women feel that immediately. They are not drawn to someone who needs them. They are drawn to someone who sees them. This is where Stoicism win reveals itself, not as emotional distance, but as emotional mastery, the ability to stay centered, to appreciate depth, to recognize emotional intelligence as strength, to speak with authority rooted in lived experience. Use this everywhere, in relationships, in work, in family. People are starving to be understood, starving to be valued without conditions. When you become the man who recognizes and names that quality in others, you elevate every room you enter. You lead without force. You attract without chasing. You connect without manipulation. This is victory, real victory, the kind that compounds over time. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery begins with perception. with seeing what truly matters, with having the courage to say it out loud. Live this way, guided by old Stoic wisdom, reinforced by an iron mind, proven by results. You will not just improve relationships, you will master life. Calm confidence, natural respect, lasting impact. This is how Stoicism looks in the real world. Hey friends, before we end this video, let me say this with a warm heart. These are not just compliments. They are bridges. Bridges to deeper connection, mutual respect, and lasting chemistry. You don't need fancy words or tricks. What matters most is how genuine you are when you speak. When your words come from respect, confidence, and honesty, people can feel it immediately. Here's my sincere advice for you. Don't try to impress a woman by exaggerating. Don't say compliments just to get something back. Speak with intention. Look her in the eyes. Mean what you say, because a woman may forget the exact words you used, but she will never forget how you made her feel. If you found value in this, take one compliment from today and practice it with sincerity. Real connection starts there. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.